Good morning, everybody. This is another video about Swift's basics, and this video is about arrays, how to use arrays in Swift. Okay, and for those ones who don't know, this is their first programming. Arrays are like a collections where you can store multiple values instead of one value that we've seen before. And they're different than tuples because they're all the values are the same type. Okay, how do we define arrays in Swift? Okay, the way you do it, usually, just like you define a variable, for example, if you want to call arrays students, okay, var students, and then you can say equal. Now, if you can define it with the preset values, so, and you can initialize them, for example, student1, and then you can put, again, student2, and another value, student3. So I'm defining an array that has 3 students. Okay, now of course you can put your proper names, or this is for just explanation. So what we've done here, we've defined an array that has 3 elements in it. And to access these elements, these have indexes. So each one has a number. This is your first element, the second element, and the third element. So if I want to get the first element, we'll have to use the index related to that, which is 0. It starts with 0, 1, 0, 1, and 2. So you say students, and then you give it the index that you want. So if you do that, then it will give you student 1. All right. Now, if you wanted to change it, you can. So this is if you wanted to access it. If you want to print, like, let's say print line, and then this will give you the value of student 1. Okay. If you want to change the value, you can say student 0 now, and then you can say it's equal to Ali. Okay, so this will have now a different value, and notice this will have different value. If you access it again, if you put the name of the array, students, just that, then you'll see that Ali is now has the first name. That first element is Ali. All right, so they are coming from Objective-C. This is called mutable array. Okay, mutable array means that you can add, you can change to it, and things like that. Now, if you want it to be immutable, means that you cannot change it, you cannot change the value. You can do things like this. You can say, instead of var, you say let. So if you do let, and cities, for example, equal to Dubai, and then you can say Sharjah, and then you can say Jerusalem, Al-Quds, okay, and then so forth. Now, if I try to change the values of this, it will give me an error. So if I say cities 0, and then I put another value, ABC, you will get an error. Okay, and the reason you got an error is that this is immutable array. That means it cannot be changed. Okay, not an identical string. You cannot change it. Okay, because it is a constant. So that is the difference between mutable and non-mutable arrays. All right, this is when you define variable with values in them. Okay, now I could have done the same thing. I could have indicated, now the difference between variables in Objective-C and Swift, all the variables here has to be the same types. You can, in Objective-C, you can add any object to array, and then you will have to cast that element. But here, all you have to do, they have to be the same type. So you can specify that these are, you can specify that they are strings, okay? So the way you do it, you will define, you'll have to specify it as string. Okay, let me see that should work. string. Okay. So now I'm defining the array and I'm saying this array has elements of type string. If you didn't specify it, it would have been okay too. All right. It will look at the default value. They're all strings. Now, same thing you could have done with integers. So you can say, for example, var exams. Okay. And then you can say, let me show you this time with element with the type. So you can say int, and then you can say you can put initialize it with certain values. So you can say 90, 70, 65, and so forth. Okay. So the difference between this one and that one, here you specify the element. This is a string. This is numbers. Okay. All right, so that is how you define variables. Now you can also define arrays. You can also define arrays that are empty. You don't have any values, and the way you do it, you can say var, let's say prices, okay, and then here I have to specify it is equal to float or double, and you will put like that. So now what happens is that I'm defining an empty array. It has no elements in it, okay? Instead of initializing it, in your code, you can add elements to it and so forth. How do you add elements to it? You can use prices dot append, and then you can put the element you want. So let's say 50.55, okay? And that will add an element to the array. The append will always add it to the end of the array. I haven't tried this, but let's try this. You can say prices dot, you can put specific element. Let's see if that works. Let's say, because I know we have one element, so if I say 1 equal to 33.3, okay? Let's see if that works. It didn't like that. So we'll have to use the append to add elements to the array. All right? Okay. You can append more than one element by doing this. You can say prices dot append, and then you can put 33.3, 49.99, and so forth. Now what happens, if I can spell append correct, is this correct? Why it didn't like that? Huh? It's okay, I guess we can do only one, but no, you should be able to do more than that. All right. Okay, so this is how you do the adding elements to the array. Now you can do this like a shortcut. You can do prices, and then you say plus equal, and then you can put 33.3 to the array. I think I'm having a problem here. Do I need to do it this way? I think it has to be this way. Yeah. So you need to do it, and you need to put it in the square bracket to indicate that it is an array. You can add more elements. By the way, you can do 49.99, and then it should work. Yeah, it does. Okay, so you can do it this way. All right, so you can add more element to the array. Okay, how do you remove element from the array? You can remove elements from the array by saying prices dot remove at index, and then you can specify the index of the element that you want to remove. So if I say index 0, that would remove the 50.55 from the array. And to check it, if you just put prices again, you'll see that it has only those two elements. Okay, so this is how you remove an element at a specific index. Okay, you can do also insert at a specific index. So, for example, insert a prices dot insert element, the value of the element. Let's say if we want to put that value back in, say we want to change it. Let's say we want to change the price to 60.99, and then if I specify the index here, it will be 0. Okay, and then notice now what happens. It inserted that index, that value 60.99 to the first element of the array. Okay, this is how we define variables. We define arrays. There are two ways to define it. One with preset values, and then you can access those elements by using the index of the array. You can define it. Of course, it can be integers. You can specify the type. It could be double, integer, whatever. You can also define empty arrays where it has no values, and then in your code you can add more values to the array. It's up to you how would you. I mean, it depends on the situation how you're going to use these arrays. Now, how do we go through the list of the array? I mean, all the elements in the array. I mean, this is the easiest way is to use looping. So you say for, you can use still traditional ways like you used to do, or say for var I equal 0, and then you say I less than or less than. Now, each array has a count, okay? So you can prices, or let's use the other one. Let's use cities, okay? Cities dot count. Now, when you say count, that means it gives you the elements, how many elements in the array, okay? So we have 3, but we start with 0, so it'll be 0, 1, and 2. And then you can say I plus plus, and here you can print line, the city is, and then you can put city is, and then you put slash, and here where you put the name of the array, cities, and then the element that you want to print. In this case, we use I as the index to the array. This is how you usually, the traditional way of doing it. What does it do like? We need to put a bracket. Okay. So that is how you, and then you can see the values by clicking on the timeline. And this is the cities that we have. Okay, Dubai, Sharjah, and Al-Quds. All right. Now there's another way to print this. Iterate through the array, and this is probably the better way, which is you don't have to worry about the count and the index. You say for I or for C in cities, and then you just say simply print the cities. Okay, so it will go from the first element to the last element, and here we'll just put C. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the count. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about the index, any of that. So this is the better way of doing it. Okay, so you go through the list of the cities and then you print them out. All right, and you'll see it has the same output. Okay, cities Dubai, cities Sharjah, and so forth. Okay, so that is it about arrays. It's a little bit different than Objective-C, but the concepts are the same. Okay, and remember, one thing to remember here, we don't have mutable. I mean, we do have mutable and non-mutable array, but in Objective-C, you will have to define, when you define the array, you'll have to say, you define it as mutable and immutable array and so forth. Okay, and that's how we define it. All right. And in the next video, I'll explain how to use dictionaries in Swift.